Okay. So let me see. Today I want to talk about section 1.6, the calculating limits using the limit laws. So this is like outline. The first two, I want to talk about limit laws. Second one, the direct substitution property. Third one, I want to explain how we can find limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a. The first one, we consider other problems. Last one, I'm going to talk about the schedule theorem. This is a section 1.6. The limit laws. Suppose that C is a constant, N is a positive integer, and the limit of f of x as x approaches a, and limit of g of x as x approaches a exists. The first law, limit of f of x plus g of x is the same to limit of f of x as x approaches a plus limit of g of x as x approaches a. So what does it mean? You can distribute limit. This is possible. Here, you can distribute limit. First one and second one. This is possible. Second law, limit of f of x minus g of x, the same. You can distribute limit to the first and second one. Distribute limit to the first one and second one. This is like a second law. Third law, limit of c times f of x. You can take out c. What's that? You can take out c. So we have c times limit of f of x as x approaches a. First law, limit of f of x times g of x. Similar. You can distribute limit to the first function and second function. Exactly product of two limit values. The fifth one, limit of f of x over g of x. You can distribute limit to the top one and bottom one. Distribute. So we have limit of f of x over limit of g of x. If limit of x value approaches a, g of x is not equal to 0. The bottom one equal to 0, you cannot distribute the limit value. Limit of f of x to the power n, so in this case, the limit value is going to inside. The limit of f of x as x value approaches a to the power n. So what's like a limit of c as x approaches a? So what do you think? I want to give the one example here. The limit of 5 as x value approaches 2. What is the answer? So could you write your answer on the chatting board? So what is your answer? The limit of 5 as x value approaches 2. So what do you think? So could you write your answer on the chatting board? Do you have any idea? The 10. So 5 times 2 or something like that, or 10. So what do you think? So do you have another answer? So do you have another answer? Like this. So we can draw graph of This is f of x. F of x equals to 5. F of x equals to 5 is this one. This is like f of x equals 5. So this y value is 5. What's it like x? X is here. Could you sum the the mute your audio? Thank you. Could you mute your audio? Could you turn off your audio? So this is like 2. So x value approaches 2. X value approaches 2 from the left, 2 from the right. So what happens? The corresponding function value approaches to this point. Approaches to this point. This y value of this point is 5. So answer is 5. This is idea. So any limit of 10, x value approaches 3 equals 10. Always function value doesn't change because we have horizontal line. So what's the answer of C? Limit of C as x approaches A is the C. So it doesn't change. Exactly constant. What is like a limit of x as x value approaches A? The one example is the next one. Limit of x value approaches 2. What is the answer? Do you know answer? Could you write your answer? Answer is x, 2. So similar. You can draw y equals x. So here, the x is not a constant. So this function, x is like f of x. You can draw f of x equals x is this graph. This one, this is f of x equals x. So what's that? This point is like 2. So what happens? X value approaches 2 from the left, from the right. Is right? This is like exact meaning. So what happens? F of x equals x. So corresponding function value approaches to this point and this point. Exactly this value. What's it like y value? Y value is 2. So answer is 2. This is like idea. So what does it mean? So like this. You plug A into here. This is idea. So one more example is limit of x value approaches 5. What is the answer?
5.
What is the answer? Limit of x as x value approaches 5. So could you write your answer on the chatting board? So 5. Yep, you're right. Yes, you plug 5 into x, answer is 5. It's good. Yeah, thank you all guys. The 9th one. Limit of x to the n as x value approaches A. I'm going to give some example here. Limit x value approaches like 2 x square. So what do you think? What is the answer? 4. You're right. This is the same region. You plug 2 into x, answer is 2 square. Yes, this is 4. So what does it mean? Only plug a into x, a to the power n. This is like answer. The 10 here. Limit x value approaches 2 square root of x. What is the answer? Answer is the same. Yeah, no. The not plus sign, so it doesn't matter. Here, 2 is approaching, going to here, yes. Square root of 2. So same things. You can draw the graph y equals square root of x here. Y equals square root of x. This is f of x equals square root of x. Where point 2 is here, x value approaches 2 from the left, the the corresponding function value approaches to this point. X value approaches 2 from the right. Yes. This value approaches 2 from the right. The both of them. Was like this function value? Exactly square root of 2. You can plug 2 into x, the function value. So this is answer. Nth root of a. Only plug a into x. We have it. So in this case, if n is even, we assume that a is positive. So this case, similar. The limit is going to inside. Nth root of limit of f of x as x value approaches a. This is the idea. If n is even, we assume that a is greater than 0. n is odd, it doesn't matter. So n is odd, so a is positive, negative 0, so not a problem. Just even case. Index is even, the a is always positive, like this. Okay, so this is the limit laws. The next one. The evaluate the following limit and justify each step. Here. How can you solve this problem? The first one. This is sum and difference of the 3 terms. So we have this kind of things. First and the second one, distribute limit. We can change it like this. Distribute the limit. So what's that? You can distribute limit to the first, second, third one. So what's that? It's the same to limit x value approaches 2, 5x square minus limit x value approaches 2, 3x plus limit x value approaches 2 and 6. So like this. It's good. The next one. What's like next step? We can use third one. C's like coefficient, always take out. You can take out coefficient. So here, you can take out 5. You can take out 3. So we have 5 times limit of x square, x value approaches 2, minus 3 times limit of x value approaches 2, plus limit of 6, x value approaches 2. The next, calculate. 5 times what is limit of x square as x value approaches 2? So what is the answer?
4.
So do you know what is the answer? Is it 4? 4 is right? The 4? 4 is right? Yes. Only plug 2 into x square. You can see here. So in this case, you plug a into x, a to the power n. So here, only plug 2 into x, 2 square, minus 3 times what is limit of x as x value approaches 2? Is it 2? Is it right? 2? Answer is 2. So what do you think? Is it right? 2? Yep, this is 2. Here. We can use this law, only plug a into x. We have a. So we have, this is plug 2 into x, yes. Plus, what is limit of 6? Is it 6? Is it right? The 6, 6, 6. Yep. So thank you, all of guys. So here, the limit of constant is c. Limit of c is always c. Doesn't change. The limit of a constant is constant. The next, calculate. 5 times 2 squared equals 4 minus 6 plus 6. 6 is cancelled. Answer is 20. So that's it. This is the final answer. This is the whole procedure for solving this problem. So like this. The next problem. How can you solve this problem? Similar. Limit is going to top and bottom. So we have limit x cubed minus 2x squared negative 3 as x value approaches minus 1 over limit x value approaches minus 1, 5 minus 3x. So like this. What's like the next step? You can distribute limit to the first, second, third term. Top one is limit x value approaches minus 1, x cubed. Negative limit x value approaches minus 1, 2x squared. Minus limit of x value approaches minus 1, 3 over bottom one, same. Distribute limit to the 5 and 3x. So we have limit x value approaches minus 1 minus limit of 3x as x value approaches minus 1. So next, take out 2, take out 2, take out 3. So it's right. So we have limit x value approaches minus 1, x cubed minus 2 times limit x value approaches minus 1, x squared. Negative limit x value approaches minus 1, 3 over the limit of 5 as x value approaches minus 1. Negative, take out 3 times limit of x as x value approaches minus 1. This is like whole steps. The next, similar. You can plug minus 1 into x. So we have minus 1 cubed minus 2 times same. You plug minus 1 into x, the minus 1 square minus. The limit of constant 3 is same constant 3 over. Bottom one, limit of 5 is 5. You can plug minus 1 into x, so we have negative 3 times minus 1. So, and calculate. Minus 1 cube is minus 1. Minus 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Minus 3 over 5. The negative 3 times minus 1 is plus 3. So we have negative 6 over 8. You can cross out common factor 2. Change 4, change 3. So final answer is negative 3 over 4. This is the final answer. Maybe this is like only explanation by using the limit laws. I can just show like a shortcut later, but don't worry. So you don't need to write everything like this for solving your suggested homework, your quizzes, your exam. Don't worry about it. We have a shortcut. I can just show later. This is like idea for solving this problem. And then, sure, I can just slow down a little bit. Sure, I can do it. So next one, direct substitution property. So if f is a polynomial, a rational function, a root function, or trigonometric functions, how can you calculate the a is in the domain of f? So how can you find limit of f of x as x value approaches a? Only plug a, that we call direct substitution property. You plug this a value into here. Answer is f of a. This is like a shortcut for solving any kind of problems. We call direct substitution properties. So do you know polynomial? Do you know polynomial? What's it like a polynomial? The polynomial is like this. Polynomial is like a to the n, x to the power n plus a n minus 1, x to the n minus 1 plus a1x plus a0. So we call polynomial. It's like a polynomial. What is rational function? The rational function is like this. The rational function is exactly polynomial over polynomial. This is rational function. Was it like a loop function? The loop function is like this one. I'm going to give example. So we have a square root, cube root, or something like that. Was it like a loop function? The loop function is, just this is example, the square root of x plus 5. The cube root of x squared plus x plus 1. So we call root function. It's like a root function, like this. Was it like a trigonometric function? Trigonometric function is, we have 6 kind of things, like sine function, cosine function, tan function, secant of x, cosecant of x, the cotangent of x. So we have the 6, the trigonometric functions. This is cotangent, the cotangent of x. So you got it? So this is like polynomial, rational function, root function, trig functions. So like this. So in this case, how can you find the limit? Only plug a into x. So example is like this. Limit x value approaches pi over 3. So we have sine x plus x. How can you do that? The sine of x is trig function. X is polynomial. How can you solve? Only plug pi over 3 into x. So that's it. Answer is sine of pi over 3 plus pi over 3. So that's it. So do you know what is the sine pi over 3? Do you know? So could you write new answer? So what is the sine pi over 3? Do you know sine pi over 3? Do you remember? Sine pi over 3? Do you know sine pi over 3? 1 over 2? Yeah, sine 60 degree. Yeah, sine 60 degree. What's it like a sine 60 degree? So pi over 3 is sine 60 degree. So answer is not 1 over 2. Answer is root 3 over 2 plus pi over 3. This is like a final answer. Like this. Okay, this is like an idea. So I'm going to give some more examples here. This one, the 5x squared negative 3x plus 6 is polynomial. How can you solve? Only plug 2 into x. So answer is 5 times 2 square. Negative 3 times 2 plus 6. That's it. You don't need it. So you don't need to distribute or something like that. The direct substitution property, very easy. So this is 5 times 4 minus 3 times 2 is 6 plus 6. 6 is cancelled. Answer is 20. So that's it. This is the whole idea. So like this. Here, the x cubed negative 2x squared minus 3 over 5 minus 3x is rational function, like a polynomial over polynomial. How can you solve? Only plug minus 1 into x. You plug into x. This is the idea. Minus 1 cubed. Negative 2 times minus 1 square, negative 3. Over 5, negative 3 times minus 1. So like this. The minus 1 cube is negative 1. The minus 1 square is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Negative 2. Keep negative 3. Over the negative 3 times minus 1 is positive 3. 5 plus 3. So we have negative 6 over 8. The 2 is a common factor, cross out 2. Change 3 and 4. Answer is negative 3 over 4. This is like a final answer. So like this. So here, sine of x is trig function. The square root of x minus pi over 4 is root function. You can use direct substitution property. Same. You plug pi over 2 into x. So answer is sine of pi over 2 plus square root of pi over 2 minus pi over 4. So do you know sine pi over 2? So could you write your answer? What is sine pi over 2? So do you remember sine pi over 2? So do you remember sine pi over 2? Sine 90 degree, not 180. So here, really be careful. The pi is 180 degree. The pi over 2 is exactly 180 degree over 2, exactly 90 degree. So sine pi over 2 is sine of 90 degree. What is the answer? So do you know sine pi over 2? Is it 1? Is it right? 1? Yes. Sine pi over 2 is 1. So like this 1 plus the pi over 2 minus pi over 4. How can you calculate pi over 2 minus pi over 4? Pi over 2 minus pi over 4. So you can make a common denominator. So multiply top one and bottom by 2. We have 2 pi over 4 minus pi over 4. So this is same to the 2 pi minus pi over 4. The 2 pi minus pi is only pi, the pi over 4. So this is the square root of pi over 4. So what's it like a square root of pi over 4? Here, square root of pi over 4 is, you can distribute square root pi over root 4. So we cannot simplify here. What is square root of 4? What's that? Do you know what is square root of 4? Oh, right here, the 2. So answer is the root pi over 2. So answer is 1 plus square root of pi over 2. This is your final answer. Right? This is like a whole idea for solving this kind of problem. So like this. Okay. So far, do you have any question? So far? So if you have any question, do always write your question on the chatting board. So I do my best to answer. about new equation. So next part is like main part. How to find limit of f of x over g of x as x value approach a. We have 4 cases. What's the 4 cases? You plug a into top one and bottom one. So we have this kind of things. The non-zero over non-zero form. This is one possibility. Non-zero over non-zero form. The second possibility is 0 over non-zero form. This is the second case. The third case is non-zero over 0. The last case is 0 over 0. So we don't have more cases. We have exactly 4 cases. Non-zero over non-zero, 0 over non-zero, non-zero over 0, 0 over 0. We have 4 possible limit problems from limit of f of x over g of x. We have 2 possibilities. So here, case 1. Limit of f of x as x value approach a is not equal to 0. Top one is non-zero. Bottom one is non-zero. So what does it mean? This is non-zero. Top one is non-zero here. Bottom one is also non-zero. So this case. How can you solve non-zero over non-zero form? So we can use direct substitution property. Limit of f of x over g of x as x value approach a. How can you solve? Only plug a into top one and bottom one. I want to give the one example in case 1. Example is like this. Limit x value approaches 1. We have x plus 1, x plus 3. What is the answer? So what is the answer of the equation?
1 over 2.
Yeah, this is a 1 over 2. So like this. You just only don't use your like audio because you can only turn on your like audio. But sometimes the other guys cannot listen to my voice. So please just only turn off your audio. Only write your answer on the chatting board.
All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, answer is, you're right. The 1 over 2, 1 over 2, yes, 2 over 4 is good. Yeah, this is answer. So how can you do that? You can plug 1 into top one and bottom one. So we have 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 3. So exactly 2 over 4. The cross out to 1/2. Yeah, this is your final answer for solving this problem. Was it like a case 1? Just to use direct substitution property. The second case. The limit of f of x is 0. Limit of g of x is non-zero. So what does it mean? You can plug a into top one. Top one is 0. Bottom one is non-zero. It's like second case. How can you solve this kind of a second case? Use direct substitution property. The limit of f of x over g of x as x value approach a is f of a over g of a. So that's it. You can use direct substitution property. I'm going to give you the one example. The example is the next one. Limit x value approaches 0, sine of x over cosine of x. So what is the answer? So could you write your answer on the chatting board? So what is your answer? So could you write your answer on the chatting board? Is 1? The 1 is right? Yeah, tangent of x, you're right. Sine of cosine is like tangent of x. What is like the limit of tangent of x as x value approaches 0? So what do you think? So what is the answer? Yeah, sine of 0 over cosine of 0 is right. Yes, sine of 0 over cosine of 0 or tangent of 0. Yeah, the same answer. What is tangent of 0? What is sine of 0 over cosine of 0? Answer is 0? The 0 is right? Yes, it's 0. You're right. So what happens? You can plug 0 into 탑은 sine of 0, cosine of 0. Sine of 0 is 0. Cosine of 0 is 1. Was it like a 0 over 1? 0 over 1 is 0. So that's it. This is final answer. Exactly second case. The second case. The next one. Third case. The third case is limit of f of x as x value approaches 0. Is like limit of f of x non-zero, limit of g of x equal to 0. So what does it mean? So we have this case. 탑은 is non-zero. bottom은 is 0. So non-zero of 0. So what's like a non-zero of 0 form? So this case is does not exist. The limit value does not exist. Note, we think about one-side limit. X value approach A from the left, X value approach from the right. We have two possible answers, infinity or negative infinity. We have two possible answers. So do you know these kind of things? You can sometimes watch some of the Kasha's video the yesterday. She explained everything. Yeah, this is does not exist. You're right. Yeah, does not exist. You're right. Yes. Why does not exist? Okay, I can just show it to you. The one example is yeah, it's undefined. You're right. Why this does not exist? This is like undefined. You're right. Undefined. So like. So I want to give the one simple example here. Limit x value approaches like 0 from the left. What is 1 over x? You can plug 0 into here. We have 1 over 0 form. The 탑은 is non-zero, bottom은 equal to 0. Exactly. 탑은 is non-zero, bottom은 equal to 0 form. Was it like 1 over 0, like undefined things? In this case, you can sketch the graph, what happens. You can sketch the graph, the 1 over x is graphs like this. Here and here. So, first one, x value approaches 0 from the right. X value approaches 0 from the right. So what happens? This graph is going up. Going up, what does it mean? Going to infinity. So what is the answer? Infinity. Was it like infinity? Was it like infinity? This is one case of does not exist. Limit does not exist. That's good. The either one is fine. Infinity, like this. But if you try to solve your quiz or something like that, usually from the one side limit, you have to decide infinity or negative infinity. So what's like another method like this? I want to use algebraic method for solving this problem here. Limit x value approaches 0 from the right, 1 over x. You plug 0 into bottom one, what happens? 1 over 0 form. Was it like a 1 over 0 form? Limit does not exist from the one side limit. This is one side limit. We have two possible answers, infinity or negative infinity. How can you decide? You can check sign in the top, sign in the bottom. So 1 is positive number. Was it like a bottom one? You can use one-sided limit here. X value approaches 0 from the right. X value approaches 0 from the right. So you can choose test number. You choose a test number like 0.1. You plug into X. So what's that? We have bottom one has 1 over, you plug 0.1, 0.1. What's it like a 0.1? 0.1 is positive. 1 is positive. So exactly positive over positive. Answer is infinity. This is the idea. I want to give another example to you here. Limit X value approaches 2 from the left, X minus 5 over 2 minus X. What is the answer? What do you think? So what is the answer? Do you have any idea for solving this problem? Negative infinity? Negative infinity? Negative infinity? You're right, undefined. You're right, undefined. Limit does not exist. Your answer, but you try to solve the multiple choice problems in your quizzes and the exam. So you have to choose infinity or negative infinity. You can choose either one, each one. So I think, why do you have a negative infinity, the next one? Here, you plug 2 into X. 2 into X, what happens? 2 minus 5 over 2 minus 2 is negative 3 over 0 form. So we have two possible answers, infinity, 1 negative infinity. How can you decide infinity, 1 negative infinity? You can check like sign in the top, sign in the bottom. You can use one-sided limit. X value approaches 2 from the left here. X value approaches 2 from the left. X value approaches 2 from the left. I want to choose test number. So this number is close to 2, but less than 2. I can choose 1.9. So 1.9. You plug 1.9 into X, the top and the bottom one. What happens? 1.9 minus 5 over 2 minus 1.9. So 1.9 minus 5 is negative. 2 minus 1.9 is positive. So answer is negative infinity. Yes, you're right. So like this. This is the whole idea, right? The next one. So we think about case 4. Top one equal to 0 and bottom one equal to 0. So what's that? Exactly 0 over 0 form. Sure. I want to give some the solved case. Sure, I'll give some the more examples. The one more example is the like this. Limit X value approaches to the 3 from the left. So we have X minus 5 over X minus 3. So what do you think? What is the answer? Positive infinity? So what do you think? Positive infinity? The positive infinity? Yeah, positive infinity. We can use same method. You can plug 3 into x. So what's that? The 3 minus 5 over 3 minus 3. Exactly negative 2 of 0. Non-zero of 0 form. This is exactly one-sided limit. We have two possible answers, infinity or negative infinity. How can you find? You have to use one-sided limit. X value approaches 3 from the left. X value approaches 3 from the left. You can choose test number. Same. You can choose test number. This number is very close to 3, less than 3. I can choose 2.9. You can plug 2.9 into x function. So we have 2.9 minus 5 over 2.9 negative 3. The 2.9 minus 5 is negative. 2.9 minus 3 is negative. Negative over negative is positive infinity. Answer is positive infinity. It's like whole idea. Always the same. So for solving case 3. Case 3. So next, so we think about case 4. The case 4 has, we have 3 more sub-cases. The sub-case 1, type 1, the f of x over g of x is polynomial over polynomial. How can you solve? Cross out the common factor x minus a. This is a whole idea. I'm going to give the one example here. X value approaches negative 2. X squared negative 4 over 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. How can you solve this problem? So here. First, you can check. You plug negative 2 into x. Plug into x. So we have negative 2 squared minus 4 over 2 times negative 2 squared plus 5 times negative 2 plus 2. So we have it. Top one. The negative 2 squared is 4 minus 4 over. The negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. The 5 times minus 2 is negative 10 plus 2. So we have 0 over 0 form. Exactly case 4. This is type 1. Top one is polynomial. The bottom one is polynomial. How can you solve? You just only factor. What's the common factor? X minus a. What is a? A is negative 2. Is negative 2. You plug negative 2 into the a, exactly x minus negative 2. X minus negative 2 is x plus 2. So we factor out common factor x plus 2. So top one has common factor x plus 2. Bottom one has common factor x plus 2. You can decide other factor. What's that? Was it like the other factor from the top? Yes, x minus 2. You're right. X squared minus 4. The 2 times negative 2 is exactly minus 4. The next one. Was it like a common, was it like the other factor in the bottom one? Was it the other factor on the bottom one? Was it factor? The bottom one? Was the bottom one? This is like idea. So we have 2x squared, is right? Yes, we need 2x. We need 2x because x times 2x is 2x squared. What's the constant? 2. How can you find the constant 2? 2 times 1 is exactly 2. The next, you can check. We have 5. The inner and outer. Inner is 2 times 2x is 4x. x times 1 is x. The 4x plus x is 5x. So we have it. The next, you have to cross out common factor. So we have limit x value approaches -2, x minus 2 over 2x plus 1. The next step, you plug -2 into top one and bottom one. Top one has -2 minus 2 over the 2 times -2 plus 1. Numerator is -4. Denominator is the -4 plus 1 is -3. The final answer is 4 over 3. This is the whole idea for solving this problem. It's good? So like this. The second problem, the similar. You plug 2 into top one and bottom one. So what happens? We have 2 times 2 square, -3 times 2 minus 2 over the 2 cube minus 8. Was it like top one? The 2 square equals 4. 4 times 2 is 8. -6 minus 2 is 0. The 2 cube is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. We have 0 of 0 form. So exactly this one. The same, type 1, polynomial over polynomial. What's the common factor? So you can plug 2 into here. So A, common factor is x minus 2. So we have this one, limit x value approach 2, common factor is x minus 2, x minus 2. You can find the other factor. What's the top one? What's the top one? Was it like the other factor on the top? So 2x plus 1? Yeah, same. You see 2x squared, we need 2 times x. So was it like the constant part is -2? The -2 times the -2 times plus 1 is, yes, -2. So we have it. So do you know bottom one? Was it like a bottom one? Do you know bottom one? So in this case, you need to memorize 2 factorization formula. Do you know this one? A cube minus B cube. How can you factor? A minus B times A square plus A times B plus B square. This is one rule. The another one is A cube plus B cube. How can you factor? A cube plus B cube, A plus B times A square minus A times B plus B square. So this is 2 formulas. You have to memorize. These are 2 good formulas. So A cube minus B cube. Our problem is x cube minus 8. X cube minus 8 is x cube negative 8 is 2 cube. So exactly here. X cube minus 2 cube. So you can replace A by x, B by 2. Here, x minus 2 times x square plus A is x, B is 2 plus 2 square. So we have it. So what's that? This is the other factor. X square plus 2x plus 4. So this one is x square plus 2x plus 4. It's good. This is the idea. You cross out x minus 2, so we have limit. X value approaches to 2x plus 1 over x squared plus 2x plus 4. The next, you have to plug 2 into top one and bottom one. X value, we have 2 times 2 plus 1 over the 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 4. The top one, 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. Bottom one, 2 squared equals 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus constant 4. Final answer is 5 over 12. So like this. So we have this kind of answer. It's like type 1. Don't like type 1. So we have it like this, the type 1. The next, type 2. The exactly 0 of 0 form, the type 2. Type 2 is f of x or g of x includes a root function. A root function. How can you find the rationalize by using the conjugate with the root function? The conjugate of a minus b is a plus b. The conjugate of a plus b is a minus b. Only the change the sign of the middle one, the last one, sign of the last one, just like a conjugate. This is an example. How can you solve? The same. You plug 2 into top one and bottom one. So we have the square root of 3 times 2 plus 10 minus 4 over 2 minus 2. The 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 10 is 16. Square root of 16 minus 4 over 0. The 16 is 4. 4 minus 4 over 0 is exactly 0 over 0. Here, exactly 0 over 0. So let me see. Numerator has root function. So root function, how can solve? The rationalize by using conjugate. So my question, so what is conjugate of the square root of 3x plus 10 minus 4? What's the conjugate? The square root of 3x plus 10 minus 4. Do you know conjugate? The square root of 3x plus 10 minus 4. What's the conjugate? So square root of 3x plus 10 plus 4. The 3x minus 10 plus 4. So what do you think? The 3x plus 10 plus 4. So really be careful. So let me see. In this case, this whole thing. This whole thing, whole square root is like root of a. The 4 is root of b. So exactly a minus b. Conjugate is a plus b. What's the conjugate? The square root of 3x plus 10. Don't change. The inside of square root of x. Don't change. Only change here. Yes, this is conjugate. This is conjugate. So how can you do that? You can multiply top one and bottom by conjugate. The next, simplify numerator. What's like a numerator? The square root of x, square root of 3x plus 10 times square root of 3x plus 10 is exactly square root of 3x plus 10 squared. Like outer plus 4 times square root of 3x plus 10. Next, inner. Minus 4 times this one is negative 4 square root of 3x plus 10. Last one, negative 4 times positive 4 is negative 4 times 4. Is cancelled. The square root is gone. Only 3x plus 10 minus 16. So we have it. So another way is you can use this rule. Do you know this one? What is a minus b times a plus b? So we have a square minus b square. So how can you do that? Only the square root of x plus 10 times square root of x plus 10 is here, 3x plus 10. The last one is negative 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So that's it. Either way is fine. You can use FOIL rule or formula. We have the same answer. We have the same answer. So we have like this. The next is simplify. Was it like this one? This is 3x minus 6. Factor out common factor 3 times x minus 2. This is like a numerator, that's right? 3 times x minus 2. So we have it. The next cross out x minus 2. We have only 3. This is crossed out. The last plug 2 into x. So we have 3 over the square root of 3 times 2 plus 10 plus 4. This is like 3 over. The 3 times 2 plus 10 is 16. The square root of 16 is 4. 4 plus 4. We have 3 over 8. This is like a final answer, right? The next tip. We have it. Type 3. Was it like type 3? F of x or g of x includes an absolute value. How can you solve? You have to eliminate absolute value sign. This is the key. Absolute value of a is equal to a if a is positive. So absolute value of a is exactly same to minus a. So if a is less than 0. Does it make sense? This makes sense. Here, the case 1 was like this case. Absolute value of 5 is itself 5. Was it like absolute value of negative number? A is like a negative number. Absolute value of minus 5 is not minus 5. What's that? 5. How can you 5 by using negative 5? So negative minus 5. This is idea. So minus a. So we have it. This is like a second case. So here, how can you solve? You have to eliminate absolute value of x minus 1. This is the key. So we have 2 possibilities. Absolute value of x minus 1 is the 2 possible answers itself or take a negative 1. Depending on inside one. The inside one, x minus 1 is positive number, x minus 1. Inside one, x minus 1 is less than 0, take negative 1. It's like 2 methods. So let me see. So which one? X value approaches 1 from the left. So x minus 1 or negative x minus 1. Which one? So what do you think? What's your answer? So could you write your answer on the chatting board? What's your answer? X minus 1 or negative x minus 1. So minus x minus 1 is right. Minus x minus 1. This is same. You can calculate what is x minus 1 is positive or negative by using one side limit. X value approaches 1 from the left. X value approaches 1 from the left. Same. I can choose test number. So this test number is less than 1, very close to 1. I can choose 0.9. You plug 0.9 into x. X minus 1 is 0.9 minus 1 is negative. Minus 0.9, right? Exactly negative. you can choose minus x minus 1. So we have limit x value approaches 1 from the left to x minus 1 over keep negative x minus 1. What happens? X minus 1 is crossed out. So we have limit x value approaches 1 from the left to the 1 over minus 1 is negative 1. The limit of constant minus 1 is exact constant minus 1. So that's it. This is the whole idea for solving this problem. Here, like this. Second one, what's that? X value approaches 1 from the right, the same. Absolute value of x minus 1 is 2 possible answers, x minus 1 or take negative sign. So if inside one, x minus 1 is a positive number, bottom one is x minus 1 is less than 0. We have 2 possibilities. So how can you decide? Same. Was it like x minus 1? You can use one-sided limit. X value approaches 1 from the right. I can choose test number. This test number is close to 1 and greater than 1. I can choose like 1.1. You plug into here. We have 1.1 minus 1. Exactly positive 0.1. So x minus 1 is positive number. You choose x minus 1. So we have limit x value approaches 1 from the right is x minus 1 over x minus 1. X minus 1 is crossed out. Just limit x value approaches 1 from the right, just 1. Was it like the limit of 1? The limit of 1 is constant 1. So that's it. This is the whole idea for solving second problem. This case is the same. You plug 3 into x, so what happens? Absolute value of 3 minus 3 over. The 3 square negative 6 times 3 plus 9. The 3 minus 3 is 0. Bottom on, 9 minus 18 plus 9 is 0. Exactly 0 over 0 form. 0 over 0 form. So top one has absolute value sign. You have to eliminate. So same things. 3 minus x. Absolute value. We have 2 possible answers. 3 minus x or negative 3 minus x. Depending on inside one. Inside 3 minus x is positive 3 minus x. 3 minus x is less than 0, negative 3 minus x. We have 2 possible answers. So which one? 3 minus x or negative 3 minus x. Answer is negative 3 minus x. Is it right? Negative 3 minus x. It's the same. You can use one-sided limit. You can check 3 minus x is positive 1 negative. You can use one-sided limit. Here. 3. X value approaches 3 from the left here. I can choose 2.9. You plug 2.9 into x. So what's that? It's the same to 3 minus 2.9. So 3 minus 2.9 is positive number. What's that? 3 minus x is positive, just 3 minus x. This is the idea. So this is same to what? Limit x value approaches 3 from the left here. 3 minus x over x squared negative 6x plus 9. So we have it. It's good. So really be careful. So we have it like this. The next simplify. So do you know factor form of bottom one. How can you factor? Bottom one is exactly x minus 3 times x minus 3. So we have x minus 3 squared. So one more. Just like a 3 minus x, I want to change it to the x minus 3 form. How can you do that? Limit x value approaches 3 from the left. 3 minus x is exactly same to minus x minus 3. You can distribute negative 1 exactly 3 minus x over x minus 3 squared. What happens? Cross down. So we have limit x value approaches 3 from the left, negative 1 over x minus 3. So we have it. That's good. So we have like this. The next, you plug 3 into x. So what happens? Negative 1 over 3 minus 3. Minus 1 over 0. What is the answer? The non-zero of 0. What is the answer? Do you remember this one? Undefined. You're right. This is like undefined. This is one-sided limit. You can decide infinity or negative infinity. Which one? Infinity or negative infinity. So what's that? So which one? Minus infinity? Positive infinity? Positive infinity? So negative infinity? Answer is the same. This is one-sided limit. Here, x value approaches 3 from the left. You can choose test number 2.9. You plug 2.9 into here. The function minus 1 over x minus 3 is kin minus 1. You plug 2.9 into x. 2.9 minus 3. What's that? Top one is negative. Bottom one is negative. Negative over negative is positive infinity. So answer is positive infinity. So like this. This is the reason. Today, like so this is like answer. The positive infinity. The next, the one theorem. F of x equal to g of x when x is not equal to a. Take limit always the same. Always the same. So next theorem. Limit of f of x equal to L if and only if the limit of left hand side equal limit of right hand side. So like this. The left hand limit is exactly same to right hand limit. Answer is the same L. So automatically the x value approach A is L. So we have one good theorem. You can think about this problem. We have piecewise function determine whether limit of f of x exists or not. So this is like a one-sided limit. How can you calculate? X value approaches 4 from the right. X value approaches 4 from the left. We think about two one-sided limit values. So what happens? First one, limit of f of x as x value approaches 4 from the right. So which function? Top one or bottom one? Which one is f of x? So which one is f of x? Top one or bottom one? X value approaches 4 from the right. So which one is f of x? Top one or bottom one? So what do you think? So could you write your answer? Top one or bottom one? Could you write? So what's it like f of x? Is it bottom? Bottom is right. The bottom is right. So here, x value approaches 4 from the right. So what happens? X value, yeah, this is like top one. Yeah, x value approaches 4. So what happens? You can choose x value is on the right hand side. What's that? X is greater than 4. X is greater than 4. This one, you choose top one. You plug this function into here. So we have it. So next one, only plug 4. So answer is 0, right? Exactly. The square root of 4 minus 4 is 0. Second one, left-hand limit. X value approach 4 from the left. So what does it mean here? X value approaches 4 from the left. So you can choose X values on the left-hand side. What's that? X is less than 4. X is like less than 4. You plug a minus 2x into here. So we have it. So you can use direct substitution property, plug 4 into x, 8 minus 2 times 4 is 0. So 0. The left-hand limit is exactly same to right-hand limit. We have this conclusion. Was it like a regular limit? Same number, 0. So that's it. So by using theorem. Next one, squeeze theorem. Was it like a squeeze theorem? So we have one assumption. The g of x is between f of x and h of x when x is near a, except possibly at a. The limit of f of x equal limit of h of x. The left-hand side is exactly same to right-hand side by using limit equal to L. So what happens? Middle one, limit of g of x. The middle one is also L. So we call squeeze theorem. So what does it mean? This is like a graph. So g of x is between f of x and the h of x. This is like a good graph. The good graph, the like this one. I can prove by using algebraic method. We can use this assumption first. So g of x is between f of x and h of x. The next, take limit each function f of x, g of x, and h of x. Take limit, inequality doesn't change. Inequality doesn't change. The next one, what is limit of f of x? The limit of f of x is L. This is L. The limit of h of x is here, L again. This is L. So what does it mean? So we have limit of g of x as x value approach a is between L and L. Was it like limit of g of x? Limit of g of x between same number. We have only one possibility. This is also L. That's it. This is proof. So like this. So we call squeeze theorem. I want to give the last example. So here, show that limit of x squared sine of 1 over x as x value approaches 0. So how can you solve this problem? This is like a graph. So you don't know graph, so it doesn't matter. You can use squeeze theorem. The first one. So do you remember what is maximum value of sine of 1 over x? What's the maximum? What's the maximum value? What is minimum value? Do you know? What's the maximum value of sine? What's the minimum value of sine? What's the maximum and the minimum of a sine function? The maximum of sine function is 1. The minimum of a sine function is, minus 1. You're right. So we have like this. Sine of 1 over x is between minus 1 and 1. The next, you can change middle one to the x squared times sine of 1 over x. What's that? Times x squared times x squared times x squared. Inequality doesn't change. You can multiply x squared, doesn't change. What's that? Minus x squared. X squared sine of 1 over x and x squared. We have same inequality. Inequality doesn't change because x squared is positive number. This is the reason. The next, you can take limit. X value approaches 0. Take limit. X value approaches 0. Take limit. X value approaches 0. Inequality doesn't change. What is limit of minus x squared as x value approaches 0? What's that? What's like a limit of a minus x squared as x value approaches 0? Do you know how can solve this one? The minus x squared is polynomial. We can use direct substitution property. You plug 0 into x, the negative 0 square. Exactly 0. So what's it like the right hand side? Limit of x squared? Same. You plug 0 into x. We have 0 square. 0 squared is 0. So it's good. So left hand side equal to 0. The right hand side equal to 0. So we have this result. Limit of x value approaches 0. X squared sine of 1 over x is between two numbers. Left hand side 0. Right hand side 0. Between 0 and 0. What is limit? Yes. X squared sine of 1 over x as x value approaches 0 is, yes, same number 0. We call squeeze theorem. Squeeze theorem. Like this. Okay, so this is all for today's lecture, section the 1.6. So if you need section 1.5, 1.4, so you can find the exact lecture note and the video on the like Canvas, the same to us. You can find this lecture note, this is my lecture note on Canvas. You can go to Canvas. I uploaded this lecture note on Canvas. You can find. Also, I also record this is the I upload this lecture on Canvas. Okay. So if you have any question, you can write your question on the like chatting board. I will answer your any question. So if you don't have any question, you can leave. This is like a Zoom. This is like live session. You can leave this live session. So I can waiting. So if you have any question, write your answer. You're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. Good night. Good night. Yeah, you're welcome. Yep. Okay, you're welcome, a lot of guys. Yep. So if you have any question, just write your answer. So if you don't have any question, yeah, you can leave this live session. So I'm just waiting. So you have a question or not? I can just waiting. Yeah, the any question, yeah, you can do need. So write your question. So if you don't have any question, no problem. Oh, you're welcome, everybody. Yeah. Okay, good.